Today, we're diving into a topic that's incredibly relevant in today's digital age: the digital intellectual property theft and how the fair use fits into this whole conversation. It's a tricky area that affects creators, consumers, and businesses, so let's try to break it down, understand the risks, and explore what fair use really means in the context of digital content. In today's digital age, sharing is a second nature. A funny content, a viral dance video, or an inspiring story, it's easy to just hit share or repost, but there's a question that few of us stop to ask. Are we stealing someone else's intellectual property? The practice of reposting videos on social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube have become a routine to some people. It feels innocent, even helpful at times, but the reality is much more complex. Every time you repost something, you could be committing a digital intellectual property theft. In simple terms, this is when someone steals, copies, or uses someone else's digital creation like music, video, artwork, software, or even text without permission or proper compensation. It's a big issue, particularly with the rise of online sharing platforms, social media, and digital marketplaces. With the click of a button, it's easy for digital content to be copied and spread across the internet, often without the original creator's knowledge or consent. When you repost someone else's video or content without their permission, you're essentially using their intellectual property without paying for it, crediting them properly, or asking for consent. Legally speaking, that can be considered theft. Now, let's consider the impact of this on content creators. For many people, intellectual property is their livelihood. Whether you're a music producer, an influencer, or a software developer, your creation are your income. When someone takes your work without permission, it doesn't just hurt your reputation. It can harm your ability to earn for a living. Imagine spending hours, months, or even years in developing something and then seeing it being used without compensation. That's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears down the drain. But what happens when someone uses your content in a way that appears legal? This brings us to the topic of fair use. Fair use is a provision under copyright law that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission. Fair use applies in cases like criticism, commentaries, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research, or even parody. One common example is using a portion of someone else's content for reaction videos, which can directly be considered legal under fair use. But the question is, even though it is legal to use other people's content as long as it is bound by fair use, is it ethical? Imagine working hard on a content only to see it appear on hundreds of accounts, but with no recognition or financial reward coming your way. This is a common frustration among creators who rely on their content to make a living. So, what are the legal and ethical implications of using someone else's content? From a legal standpoint, the act of reposting without permission can be considered a violation of copyright. If a creator has not granted permission for others to reuse their content, they have the right to file a Digital Millennium Copyright Act or DMCA takedown notice or maybe pursue legal actions. From an ethical standpoint, reposting someone's work without acknowledgement undermines their creative efforts and can discourage creators from producing contents. It sends a message that their hard work doesn't deserve recognition or compensation. That in turn can damage the very ecosystem of creativity that social media and online platforms thrive on. So what can you do to avoid contributing to copyright infringement or digital intellectual property? Number 1, before reposting someone's work, always ask for permission. It might take an extra minute, but it ensures you respect the creator's rights. Number two, if you have permission to repost, make sure you credit the creator by tagging them or mentioning their name. Number three, if you enjoy someone's content, consider supporting them by purchasing their product, following them, or even donating to their channel or account. Support doesn't always have to be financial, but it helps creators know that their work is appreciated. Copyright infringement and digital intellectual property theft are broad topics and somehow complicated. But the thing is, it's not about the likes and shares. It's about respecting someone's hard work that goes into creating something meaningful. So next time you want to use other creators' work or repost something, stop and think, did I ask for permission? Because respecting other creators' work isn't just the right thing to do, it's the responsible thing to do.